Hey guys, Spectral here. I know I've been gone a super long time. No worries though, I'm back, and better than ever. Starting today, you guys
Hello. Hey, hello? Yeah, he was gonna say, like, under new management or something like that. Sorry about that. Envisioning this new path for my very lucrative channel was going to be very difficult. So, I decided to make some changes. Which starts with me offing myself. You know, sad to see him go, but hey, unfortunately, that's just the way this channel needed to go. Not really. I just wanted to do it. It's a little messed up. Sure. Anyway, nobody cares. Well, maybe some do, but yeah. I'm kind of exhausted with my lack of discipline and work ethic. So, I've been through this rigmarole before. In short, like my new description said, I will do whatever I want. Just know artwork will be involved. I want to talk about my OCs, do character designs, fan art, talk about my favorite games and movies. And TV shows, I guess. I'm a yapper. We've established that. No more ambitious goals with legit zero art. This video was cool, I guess, but what in the hell was I thinking?
You never back down from anything in your life, even when you maybe should've.
Okay, time for the non-scripted section. Here you can see, ignore the fact that I completely forgot to record the first part of me doing the sketch for the portrait and the action pose, but here I am currently drawing an extra accessory of him wearing a cape, which is important to his design, but it's something I put off to the side. If you saw at the beginning there, he was missing an arm. He obviously isn't missing an arm in the full pose. It was something that I thought of in the conceptual stage a little early on, but I decided not to go through with it. So I was like, I think I want to preserve the scars and the missing limbs for another character I had in mind. But, you know, I'm starting to add color. A lot of his base colors are warm colors with hints of cool colors thrown in there. The weird thing about this character is that he's been something that I've thought of for a very long time, to be exact. I'm still working out a lot of things that I kind of want for him. And the reason I say this is because while his design was always based around fire and stuff like that, it's only recently that I decided to add like the Phoenix look for him, as seen in a lot of the feathery hair and the way I draw his cape. Because originally I didn't actually have a specific race I thought he was going to be, and I don't really just make characters' races like randomly. There's just like specific influences that I think of when making my characters. So they are diverse, not to particularly fill certain slots, but it allows me to think of different reasons for why they dress the way they do, or just tying it into maybe like mythologies and things such as that. This was the format I went with here. I wanted to get a close-up shot of their face, an action pose, and maybe some other accessory that doesn't show up in the action pose. I'm not sure if I'm gonna stick with this, to be exact, but it's something I might change around, but it worked for what I was trying to do here. But back to the race thing. Originally, he was white, but we're not going to talk about that because back when I was a little kid, that's all I saw on TV at times, so that's all I drew. So this was like way back in like elementary school. Yes, these characters are that old. And then it evolved to like, what else could I do? I went from like, Middle Eastern, black, but eventually I ended up settling on him being Hispanic, of Hispanic descent, specifically Mexican, and I think it really worked for like the colors that I wanted to choose, and there's a lot of cool details that I work into here that, as you see, I'm adding these colors and stuff. There's a lot of cool details that I add in here later that, once I get around to it, I'll bring up. And also his fire, as you can see here on the screen right now, I did this in a particular way to where like it fades into blue, just so I can match it with the blue accents on his outfit. And I like the effect of like, I didn't want his hands to completely disappear, but I would like that silhouette. And also he has slight burn marks from usage of his abilities, which I can get into deeper once I figure out the inner workings. I did the same for his bandana here using his main colors, and I think I could make some adjustments, but I thought this was a pretty satisfying color scheme that I came up for him. Soon, very soon, once I started finishing this action pose up, I move on to back over to his cape. But yeah, this was the final design for the action pose. I'm pretty satisfied with the colors and things such as that and what I ended up going with. And here's me adding a shadow. You can ignore the pause. I was just trying to figure out what was going on here. Oh, yep, yeah, I figured it out. Yeah, here, I was too lazy. I was like, I did not feel like coloring in his body. You could tell that there. But the story behind this, which I thought was pretty cool, one, I already figured out his primary colors that I wanted to use, but the whitish, off-white, yellowish design is supposed to be paper, and the reason behind that is that I wanted him to be a hero of a specific community, and those are notes and letters that people have sent to him, and you know he cherishes that, so he ties that into his cape and stuff. Oh wow, this is going a lot faster than I thought it was. But the flower, specifically for the flower, I had chose a marigold flower, which is synonymous with leading people to the afterlife. I thought it was a pretty good pick. I didn't just pick this on the fly. I wanted some sort of motif that was more softer than his flames in his design, and that was something that I ended up settling on. It's known as the Flower of the Dead, and I just added it in and it fit with the color scheme, and I think it just brought everything together really well. Yeah, you know, that's all I had to say about what I had going on here. Okay, now we are on to the extra section. I'm just going to quickly talk about things that I completely forgot about. So we're removed from the non-scripted section of the video. So, two things I wanted to bring up here. One of them being his eye patch, which is directly tied into his backstory, which also comes from a previous organization that he worked with, which will become relevant later when I talk about more characters. Probably, once I get a lot of these guys finished up and cleared up, I'll make a very long video just talking about this stuff, kind of vaguely, because if I ever want to make a book, then I wouldn't really want to spoil everything. Regardless, though, that is very important. He purposely, now he was blinded, but he purposely forced this eye patch, which is actually a badge, and smelted it to his eye as punishment. I'm not going to elaborate. As well as the dog tags, which I'm sure if you were watching closely, you would have noticed the dog tags. Which, it's not necessarily super deep. It's just to add some extra little things about his background, working within the military. That's literally the only reason I did that. It's an important part of his character, yes, but it's also just, you know, like I said, a little design choice so people can infer some things about what type of character he is. I did want to draw a sketch of what his hair looks like without the bandana, because it kind of gives off that phoenix feathery bird type hair motif that I really wanted to talk about, but this might be something that I show to you guys later in the future. Originally, I wanted to go for a more Mexican sounding name, but I do know that there's a lot of people who are Mexican who carry just Spanish names. I mean, just looking at history, it makes sense. Regardless, I like to pick names that have a certain meaning, and different languages make that really easy for me, especially foreign languages, because a lot of their words and names actually mean something, and it's not just completely random. So, I ended up settling on Ernesto. Ernesto. Yep, I think I got that right. But it just means serious. Pretty sure that's right. Or earnest and determined. And I was like, yeah, that fits a lot better. There was another name that I had that more went with ruler, but that's not really the type of character that he is, so I just completely omitted that from the conversation. So I ended up settling on this name, and I think it works really well. As you can see in the picture, there's also his subtitle, The Solaris, and do I really have to explain that one? We're just gonna stare at each other. I mean, like, go do something. Go. So yeah, that's about it. I'll be back with something super cool soon. So stay tuned. I'm serious this time. Hug your closest relative, drink some water, read a book, and talk to someone. And I'll see you guys soon. Right back in this room. Don't spend too much time online. I'll try not to, but there's no guarantees. I'm kind of stuck here. Don't let it brain rot you.